Welcome back to the F1 2017 Career Mode, and you join me for this Season 3 Spanish Grand Prix. Always love Spain, always love coming here. I feel like I mention it every season. It's where we got our first points in Season 1, and we got a really solid podium in Season 2. It's now about, can we win around one of my favourite circuits on the 2017 game. This season is now starting to swing in our favour. We got our first win of the season last time out in the Russian Grand Prix, and we are yet to be off the podium. We are having such a strong start to the season. Can that translate over, and can we pick up a win around Spain and really just take the lead and take the fight, put the ball in Mercedes and Ferrari's court for trying to be able to beat us in this season? Because wow, the performance of the car has been excellent. Weekend hasn't started off too well. Went into qualifying, and as you can see, there's a fault with the cooling system. So that resulted in me losing about 4.5 minutes of the 12-minute qualifying session. So certainly not ideal. But anyway, we're going to come out onto the circuit, and this is going to be for our first attempt. You can see Vettel currently fastest there, and we are charging down towards turn 1, easily over 200 miles an hour. We're going to brake just after the 100-meter board, flick it in there nicely, bring it over to the left-hand side, ease it out to the right, then go out to the left. Had to do a little lift going through turn 3. Ideally, you're going to want that completely flat and a bit wider than I was, just to get the maximum amount of speed, but nonetheless, we are half a second up on Sebastian Vettel. It's been an electric first sector from us as we now go into turn 5. Slightly wider the apex, but allowed me to bring it in and not use too much curb on exit there. 4.5 minutes left of the session as we come through the left-hander. Kiss the inside curb, lets me straighten it out nicely as we come towards the flat right-hander. Had to take a big lift. I'm not very confident through to there, but use all the space available to us on exit, and we are still only 1/10 up on Vettel, and we've gone deep into the hairpin in the final sector. That's not put us in the best position, but let's now try and carry as much speed as possible through the long right-hander. Again, don't try and use too much curve, then flick it right, and then bring it over to the right-hand side for the chicane at the final part, as we get it as straight as possible. Once again, try not to run too wide, too much curve. Acceleration now up towards the line. DRS open. We come across the line. It's a 19.7, and it's the fastest lap so far. Provisional pole position. I wanted to do another lap because I didn't feel it was perfect, but due to the coolant of the car and the fault we had, we ran out of time on our outlap. So, but nonetheless, P3 for the Spanish Grand Prix, one of our better qualifying sessions. So Vettel on pole with a 19.4, Hamilton second, a 19.7, just pipped us by a 25,000th of a second, and then Raikkonen 4th, Bottas 5th, Alonso heading up the rest of the field in 6th. So I think McLaren have solidified ourselves as the third fastest car. Then the Red Bulls and the Force Indies running up the top 10 as per normal. Come to the race. It's hammering it down. It's a bit damp on the old start and finish straight of the Spanish Grand Prix. So looking at it here though, it's heavy rain to start, transition to light rain, and apparently be nice and sunny by the end of the race. So I can't really plan a strategy. Obviously the game's going to be a one-stop, but we're at least going to have to pit twice. Obviously once for inters, then once for dry tyres. So just fuel the car up, and we will just sort of see how the race goes. Gonna have to play it out. Gonna have to play long, but we build to the lights. 5 on. All 5 are out, and away we go for the Spanish Grand Prix. We got held for a long time. Vettel's had a poor start. Hamilton's gone off into the distance. Then Vettel starts to pull away in the second phase. We're in the slipstream of Hamilton. Bottas is on our outside. What can we do into turn 1? Everyone takes it cautiously. We lunge down the inside, through into the lead. Kimi Raikkonen trying to come through and get up into second place. The Ferraris go side by side with the Mercedes. Raikkonen looks to have benefited the most out of that situation. He's up to P2. Vettel looks to be down to P5 as we come through the first corner. We've already got a commanding lead going into turn 5. This is excellent stuff after being bowled initially off the grid. We come to the end of lap 2 though, and Kimi has got the pace in these conditions. It appears everyone's very quick. Bottas sets a lap 1.2 seconds quicker than us. Alonso is on his rear as well. But at this point, I used some fuel early on and then bumped it down to lean, and we were just setting some laps. We then do obviously a 37.3 at the end of that lap. We come on to lap 7. Raikkonen is still all over us. He's looking to be our #1 competition here. The rain's getting a bit lighter as we sort of come through the other right-hander, so we're going to try and get some update on the weather. And you can see there, Jeff, not 100% sure. So when they give you that message, it means they don't really feel 100% in regards to what the weather's gonna be doing. And as you've just heard there, Jeff once again coming on the radio advising it might be time to change tyre. You saw me there struggling out of the chicane and drifting wide in the final corner. So very soon it's going to be time for the intermediates. So that is exactly what I've done. I've set the inters for our next stop, and we're coming in at the end of lap 8 here. So you can see there, we started with +2 laps of fuel. During this rain period, I've saved up loads of additional fuel. So now we're coming in to change tyres. Raikkonen carries on, and look at that. We dive in as Jeff goes to give us the alternate strategy. Literally perfect timing from us to change onto these tyres. We've dropped down to P6. There's a big gap here between Alonso and Verstappen. There goes Ricciardo, and then there's a big gap between those guys and the Force Indias. There's another car in the pits just there. Grosjean's coming through up into 9th. Then we're going to get Ocon come past in 9th. So we are down to 10th place. But that is us now. Nicely out in the points. And we're on the best tyre. We're going to get a free lap over everyone else. Aside from, I believe it was Perez that was in the pits there. Same lap as us. So he's going to get a lap on it as well. You can see here, as we're coming through lap 9, Ocon just completely, we've caught up to him so quickly on this lap, and he's actually actively looking to cool his tyres. Look at how much we've gained there in the braking zone as we set the fastest middle sector of the race so far, and Ocon's just got no acceleration, so we're having to waste time fighting past him here. And now we're on the wetter part of the circuit, so we had to counter steer a bit, but you see Ocon's just so slow on the wrong tyre. Fernando's in this lap. I feel sorry for anyone who's got to now do another lap. It looks as if one of the Red Bulls is having to. Is Grosjean going to dive in? Yes, he is. That means he's completely out of our way, and it means we should be uninterrupted as we come across the start-finish line. Everyone's in the pit lane. What's going to go along here? So we come past everyone, and we're up into P4. Raikkonen, who was P2 before the stops. Remember, look at the gap we've managed to build to him just because of hitting that one lap earlier. And bear in mind, we lost time behind Esteban Ocon on that lap, so Ricciardo's had to carry on. So I'm willing to bet, obviously, one of the Red Bulls, one of the Ferraris, and one of the Mercedes has had to carry on for that one additional lap. So here we go, end of lap 10. You see Ricciardo is in the pits. Who else is in there? Bottas and Vettel. So we set the fastest lap with a 35.4. So you can see here the pace is definitely coming to this tyre, and it's only going to get quicker and quicker as the laps go on. But we have built a serious advantage, Kimi Raikkonen. And once again, we're just saving fuel because, as I said, we're just going to get faster as the track improves. There's a 34.5 literally on the very next lap. 4 seconds to Kimi Raikkonen, who then has a 1.6 further over Lewis Hamilton. So at this point, very controllable, very nice. And we see here Jeff once again confirming that the rain is still easing off, and he says the track is clearly drying, but obviously it's nowhere near the point of slick tyres. Completely understandable because, of course, there is still water coming out of the sky. There we go, Jeff just once again saying it's, you know, just not dry enough again. I can tell because there's rain still coming out the sky, but we're getting regular updates about the weather. We're now on lap 18 of the Grand Prix, and Jeff once again going to give us the alternate strategy. So Raikkonen closing in on us there, and of course we're getting offered the alternate strategy, which then means it is officially time, or soon going to be very time to be changing tyres. It did mention lap 18. DRS has been enabled, so we're now at the crossover point, and we're going to come into the pits this time around because by the end of the lap, you can see here the rain is no longer coming down. It's no longer streaking along the car, so we've of course got to be careful. Try not to take any damage. We're in. Raikkonen's in. Hamilton is in as well, and we're in control of this Grand Prix. We don't need to be attacking the pit limiter line. We don't need to be taking any unnecessary risks. Alonso is in as well. He shouldn't lose too much time against us. So hard tyres on, 2.1 by the McLaren boys, an excellent pit stop all around. Alonso should hopefully get an opportunity here to pass Bottas during this period, because Bottas has had to carry on, but Alonso came in the same lap as us, and look at that, we're at one whole pit stop ahead of one of the Red Bull cars. That is the performance and the speed advantage we have around this place, and especially in that intermediate period, we were untouchable. Raikkonen couldn't close on us till right at the end of the stint. And you're going to see here, we're in the lead. Hamilton's up to second, so he's jumped Raikkonen in the pit stop phase. We set the fastest lap on a 26.5, and again, bear in mind, there's still a little bit of water here and there, so it is now just a matter of keeping the tyres in check, going to the end of the Grand Prix, and of course just keeping it entertaining, burning off all the excess fuel we had. 24.3 was the lap at that point. I've still got plus 2 laps of fuel as well, so once again I was just keeping myself amused while I was going around, and Hamilton and Raikkonen got the pace there. Vettel definitely with the pace of 23.7, that is 0.6 faster than the lap that I've done, so clearly they're up to pace. But what are we going to do next time around? Are we going to dip into the 23s? Yes, we are. 23.2 on that lap. So the track just getting faster and faster as it warms up, and all the little grease just gets picked up by the cars. 9.1 seconds we have to Lewis Hamilton. So again, in the crossover period, we've just gained about another 5 seconds. We got 5 seconds in the first stop, 5 seconds in that stop, and we were just able to then just keep it under control. Raikkonen jumps ahead of Hamilton again at the end of lap 23. We do a 22.8, so once again just edge out Sebastian Vettel's lap time there. Just burning the fuel, and the hard tyres, I will say there, kept themselves nicely in check. They were performing surprisingly well, considering obviously the track was fairly greasy. We do a PB at the end of 24, but can't match Raikkonen's time, then Bottas with 22.3. So clearly there were cars in the dry weather that were quicker than me. And you can see that Raikkonen again at 22.2. So he's going to start closing that gap to us as we come to lap Massa, and we're just losing bucket loads of time as we come to go around him. He got in the way so horrifically there, but I don't think Raikkonen caught up too much. At 22 flat, so Raikkonen got the gap down to 6.9 now with 7 laps to go. He is on the rampage. You can see now the sky has cleared up. We dipped to a personal best of a 22.2 at the end of lap 30. With only a few laps to go, Raikkonen's got 5 seconds to make up. I don't think he's going to do it as we now come up to lap Lance Stroll in the same area where Felipe Massa held us up. That definitely wasn't as bad, but still, it certainly wasn't ideal. And Raikkonen still putting in the fastest laps as we move on to the penultimate lap of the race there. And Raikkonen, P2, Vettel up to P3. So the Ferrari is performing in the dry weather conditions, but now we come on for one final lap. Raikkonen still pushing 21.9. Then a Vettel with a 21.8. So the Ferraris definitely had the speed, and come the end of the race, they were fairly close to me as we caught up a lot of traffic, as you can see here. But we're coming through the final chicane behind the Haas of Kevin Magnussen. We're going to come around the final corner, and it's back-to-back wins, and we finally get our win in Spain.
Fantastic. You won the Grand Prix. Drivers are making their way out for the podium celebrations, and it's going to be McLaren picking up the winner's trophy. Congratulations to the entire team for that fantastic performance.
So we win the Spanish Grand Prix on our third time of asking, and this one was going to give us the best opportunity. Raikkonen second and Vettel third, making up the podium. The Ferrari very quick. Valtteri Bottas, though, setting the fastest lap of a 21.6, proving the Mercedes still has the pace, and Fernando finishing within 11 seconds. So that top six only covered by 11 seconds, and then you had Ricciardo there, 33 seconds back. Grosjean, Ocon, and Palmer getting some points, making up there the top 10. And just, yeah, we get the lap runners there. We move on to the Drivers' Championship. That puts us 30 points clear. We could retire from a Grand Prix. Raikkonen could win it, and we will still be at the top of the championship. 92 points out of a possible 125. That goes to show how well we've been driving so far this season. We move on to the constructor standings, and McLaren have gone to the top of the pile. We are joint with Ferrari on points, but I believe due to myself getting 2 wins rather than Ferrari, I honestly can't tell you how many wins I've got this season. I recorded this race so long ago. But we are now top of drivers with myself and constructors, and obviously that is the goal. I want to win both championships this year. Obviously, it's down to Fernando to make sure he pulls his weight. But guys, that has been the Spanish Grand Prix of Season 3. I hope you did enjoy. Please leave a like if you did, and comment any feedback down below would be very much appreciated. You know how much I love Spain. Next up is the Monaco Grand Prix, and I assure you, this Season 3 Monaco Grand Prix will be better than the actual 2018 Monaco Grand Prix. Not taking anything away from Daniel Ricciardo, but it was a little bit boring. And I'm going to make sure that's not the case. But thank you once again for watching. Again, really appreciate you stopping by. I will make sure to see you all after you've enabled them notifications, or ticked notifications and enabled them notifications. They're the words that I'm looking for. And I will make sure to see you all next time.